Every day, millions of people drive along highways like this one without realizing the invisible borders they create. Roads bring us together, but for wildlife, they tear worlds apart.
Hi, I'm Aralyn Adorable Flores.
Hi, I'm Debra Serafian.
And I'm Maya Gunderson.
We're here to explore how California highways threaten native wildlife, especially mountain lions and coyotes, by causing habitat fragmentation.
The U.S. has over 3.9 million miles of roads, and they're responsible for the loss of over 71 million acres of habitat. Every mile of paved highway removes an average of 2 acres of land from these ecosystems. Habitat fragmentation happens when a once continuous ecosystem is sliced apart by roads, fences, or other developments. Highways in particular split natural areas into isolated patches. These patches make it incredibly hard for animals to migrate, find mates, and hunt for food. This increases the risk of collisions, inbreeding, and even extinction, as these highways just overall decrease animal populations.
Mountain lions, unlike coyotes, need vast territories to roam. The 101 cuts through the heart of their range in the Santa Monica Mountains.
The results are severe: limited access to mates, high inbreeding, and shrinking genetic diversity.
Here, we have the US 101 cutting through or around the Santa Monica Mountains, causing habitat fragmentation and therefore reducing mountain lion populations. The mountain lion population in these mountains is extremely small, with fewer than 15 individuals thought to live south of the 101 at any given time. A 2016 National Park Service, or NPS, study predicted that about a 99% chance of extinction within 50 years of the population south of the 101 due to inbreeding and genetic isolation unless connectivity is restored. Since the NPS began tracking them in 2002, at least 29 mountain lions have been killed on freeways in the study area, many attempting to cross the 101 or 405. Only one known mountain lion has successfully crossed both the 101 and 405, and he ended up trapped in Griffith Park, unable to return or reproduce.
Here I have with me someone who I've asked to interview.
Hi, I'm Debra.
So, do you know anything about P22, the mountain lion?
Yeah, I do. So he was born in the Santa Monica Mountains and somehow crossed two of Los Angeles' busiest freeways, the 101 and the 405, as a young male in search of territory. He ended up in Griffith Park, where he lived alone, and he was trapped by concrete and traffic, unable to ever leave or find a mate. He became a local legend. I remember watching the news and he came up, and my daughters were super upset and almost left to go find him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and someone filmed him and he appeared on National Geographic, which inspired a movement, but I think his life was also a warning.
Okay. Thank you so much.
A 2020 study published by Thorne and fellow researchers at UC Davis found that mountain lions in the Santa Monica and Santa Ana mountains have some of the lowest genetic diversity ever recorded in wild mountain lion populations, comparable to the highly inbred Florida mountain lion populations before recovery effort began. Signs of inbreeding include kinked or bent tails, cryptochitism or undescended testicles, and low sperm success.
Hey, I heard you guys talking about the P22.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so did you know that basically the Liberty Canyon Wildlife Crossing is currently under construction, and basically it's trying to offer hope for the future. And basically it's designed to reconnect fragmented habitats, and it's letting species like mountain lions roam freely once more without fear of collision from cars and other vehicles. And P22's story individually became a huge story for the collision, because the building of the Liberty Canyon Wildlife Crossing, it ensures that his story is now driving efforts to ensure future mountain lions' safety from not dying alone and being with their other mates.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for telling us.
The Liberty Canyon Wildlife Crossing will span 210 feet over 10 lanes of the 101 freeway. It is projected to reconnect over 1,600 square miles of fragmented habitat. Experts predict it will increase genetic diversity within just a few generations of lions if successful.
Coyotes are among the most adaptable predators in North America, but even they are not immune to the consequences of fragmentation.
One important thing to remember is that coyotes are not endangered and are widespread across North America. In urban SoCal, they are often studied due to high human interaction. The estimated population in the greater LA area is about 250,000 to 750,000 coyotes, though tracking is difficult because of their mobility.
So here we are today with a National Park ranger and researcher. So can you tell us a little bit about how highways and habitat fragmentation affect coyotes?
Of course. So the Ventura Freeway, or better known as the US 101, runs directly through coyote habitats in places like Calabasas and Agoura Hills. Our research has found that coyote populations on either side of the freeway have actually become genetically separate because they aren't able to meet with each other. They've been cut off by the freeways.
Oh, okay. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, of course. So along the Ventura Freeway, along Calabasas and Agoura Hills, the coyote populations are showing signs of genetic separation. And some of our studies that I've done as well suggest that groups on either side are beginning to diverge because they aren't able to cross, like I already said. This lack of movement disrupts their social structures and their territories can shrink, and even pack dynamics can shift. Coyotes are forced into more urban spaces as well as they're forced to rethink their habitat boundaries, and this can increase the likelihood of human and pet interaction, which is bad because you don't want your dog to be eaten by a coyote. And as these highways limit access to traditional prey, coyotes have to change their hunting strategies, so they have to scavenge more frequently. This means that sometimes these coyotes can become nocturnal feeders, which disrupts the entire ecosystem. And most importantly though, the biggest threat to coyotes are vehicles, despite all the food shortages and stuff, because collisions are now increased as roads and highways increase in frequency. And even though mountain lions, you see a lot of their deaths on the news, you don't see a lot of coyotes, but that doesn't mean they're any less significant.
And there we have it. We have a National Park Ranger, and thank you.
It would be incredibly harmful to the surrounding ecosystem if coyotes were to shift to nocturnal hunting because it would disrupt predator and prey relationships. Coyotes naturally hunt at dawn and dusk, but increased nocturnality causes them to miss opportunities to hunt daytime prey such as squirrels and rabbits, and it may lead to an increase in hunting overlap with other nocturnal predators such as owls and foxes. This can increase interspecies competition. A 2017 study in behavioral ecology found that urban coyotes in Southern California became up to 80% nocturnal compared to 50 to 60% in rural populations.
Nocturnal hunting also leads to increased scavenging and human conflict, as fewer prey options and limited range force coyotes to scavenge from trash, pet food, and compost bins. This leads to higher human-wildlife interactions and conflicts such as pet attacks, and it increases their dependency on unnatural and unhealthy food sources. Urban coyote diets in LA contain up to 25% human food waste compared to about 5% in wild populations.
Additionally, if nighttime coyote activity increases, it can cause a cascade effect on other natural species. Raccoons and skunks, who are also nocturnal scavengers, may change their own foraging times, and rodent populations may shift burrowing behavior in response to the high predation pressure at night, which they are not used to. Finally, this shift to nocturnal hunting causes a loss of ecosystem control roles. Coyotes are known as mesopredator regulators, as they help keep populations of rabbits, mice, and even feral cats in check. If their daily movement is restricted, these roles break down. Rodent populations can surge in their absence, and vegetation may suffer due to overgrazing by these unchecked prey. In areas where coyotes are removed or severely disrupted, rodent activity increases by as much as 30 to 40%, leading to downstream effects on plant seedling survival.